Greetings of the diaspora to those that don't speak the languages that we speak. Happy new month, happy new season. Welcome back, everybody. Stoners United, Wake and Bake Gang, Tarot Card Gang, Chakra Hunt, the Queer Gang, the Queer and Conscious, the Knowledge Seekers, the Knowledge Collectors, Walk Gang, Anti-Walk Gang, Togoza Gogo Gang, Makosi Gang. As long as we're all here in love and light, Chakra Hunt's not leaving you guys out either. Welcome back to those who have been here before, to those who are new. Please let us start by subscribing if this is content that resonates with you. If you just want to hang around, that is totally okay too, but please do engage with us in the comment section. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And it is a new season, and this is the intro episode to the season of Auset. Dua Auset, Dua Auset, Dua Isis, Dua Isis, Dua Nomkhubulwane, Dua Nomkhubulwane, Dua Ngwedi, Dua Ngwedi, Dua Tlhatlhamacholo, Dua Tlhatlhamacholo, Dua Mume, Dua Mume. Tobela Togozani, welcome everybody. So we're gonna be doing our intro episode today. So usually we do these episodes just to assist you guys build the altars or prepare yourself spiritually, because remember Luena umsamo how, right? So as much as you have a physical altar or shrine, whatever it is that you want to call it, but also you are the bigger musamo, you are going all right. So we're gonna start with the things that align us with the season. I'll just give a brief introduction on what the season is all about. So this is the divine feminine principle, or the energy that is prevalent right now. So in the southern hemisphere, this is introduced by a phenomenon called the autumn equinox. So what happens with the autumn equinox, remember we said on the 23rd of December, that period, yeah, summer solstice, that is when the sun now starts making a U-turn, heading into the northern direction now. So on a summer solstice day, so this usually would happen around the 20th of March or 20th, 21st of March. So we mark it for the 21st of March just for consistency, the traveling of the sun. So what happens is that now the sun is tipping over, it's going over the equator now. Now the sun from the 21st to the 23rd, it's traveling. And then on the 23rd, it should be fully in the northern hemisphere. And this is when we enter the autumn equinox, or those of you guys that are in the other English-speaking countries, you guys would call it the fall equinox. But in the northern hemisphere, they're experiencing a season of, they're experiencing the new year, the spring equinox for them. So before the Gregorian calendar was imposed and it became the system of life, people actually used to partake in these ceremonies when new life began, and it's the newness of the season. So I want to bring it back to the constellation that's also involved here. So what you would see, what we would say, this is the Aries season, but it is Aries in the northern hemisphere because that is the first zodiac house, right? So based on the normal zodiacs as you know them, this would be the Aries season. But with us in the southern hemisphere, we are experiencing a Libra season. And like we did on the Moya podcast, I wish I could draw it. I'm just not seeing a pen nearby. But if you see that symbol, yeah, Libra, right? Not the scale one, but we'll speak on that the more lessons that we do on Auset. But that symbol there, yeah, the other, yeah, Auset. So that kind of symbol like that, right? So that would represent the rising and the setting of the sun at the same time. So in this period, it is representing a union as well as a division, right? So what do we mean by that? So this is now the period where we go into spiritual hibernation down here in the southern hemisphere. So when we borrow a little bit from the mythology, or trying to explain this concept here, this would be a time now that is preceded by ceremonies called the Lamentation of Auset, or Islidos ka Nomkhubulwane, or Sello sa Tlhatlhamacholo, right? So this would be where now Asa is confined in the box, confined by his brother Set, or their brother Set, Auset and Asa's brother, confined and then chopped up into pieces, right? So Auset now is lamenting and crying. So that is why around this period, usually there would be like rain, right? So the past 4 years, I definitely have not missed rain when it comes to the isikhathi Nomkhubulwane, when it comes to the autumn equinox, when we get into that period, there'd be a period where it just rains. So those who are connected to the cosmos would say that no, these are the tears that Nomkhubulwane when she's lamenting for her lover or Asa. So, but let us, before we get deeper into things, but yeah, this period when I say it is the union, so this is when so Auset is this deity that represents the consecration of spirit and the flesh self, right, the physical self. So this would be now, because she's a restorer, she's also a healer. This would be where this concept where it can, because also she's the same person who put Aset together, right? So as much as now sidele izinto zelona zenyama and we're entering a spiritual period, we're leaving the things of the flesh, we're leaving the things of the material world, and we're entering into a period of spiritual fortification, right? And so that is where now the death and the rebirth would be happening at the same time, right? So the minute you're fortifying yourself spiritually, that is another growth level that you are entering now. That is another thing that you're birthing. So now we are entering a period where we are birthing our spiritual selves, right? And we are leaving now. Remember, I like saying, like joking that Nyomi Nyomi season is about to end. So Geb was our last season where it exists on a right? And now we're going into a period of hibernation. And on the podcast live that we did with Queen Ziggy, there was somebody who asked, I think it was Zandi. She asked, okay, what does this entail? What does the spiritual hibernation entail? So you're going to do works like your shadow works. You're going to literally, it's time for isolation, right? And those Baba Fehliling, you know that this is a time, your preparation now. Okay, I need to now vuma uhufa, but this is when the actual work is starting, where you're going within, you're isolating, you see velele abantu, they just be separating from you, right? But only if you are in alignment and in tune with your spiritual self. So let us before we go deeper into this Auset, I know she's a very exciting deity as well, exciting to work with as well. So this is now, remember I said when we spoke I think the Gabe season or the hero season, and I said that Gabe, grandfather Gabe le Newt, they're the ones that bestowed these royal gifts upon their offspring, right? So remember the offspring Asa Auset, Neptet, Set, and then Leheru the elder. So Auset was gifted with the gift of magic, what we would call Heka, or what we're gonna be continuing to call Heka, especially in the season here. So she's the custodian of the magic, high magic, which is also another form of high intelligence. And when we did the Tree of Life, remember we spoke at the faculty of Auset that this is the same person who's responsible for trancing or going into trance or receiving messages in that format, right? But we'll expand more on our Tuesdays when we do our spirituality lessons, really. But we might pre-record depending on where the energy is leading. So it might be a very, very tough season, because like I'm saying, it is a spiritual rebirth that you're working on. But in terms of goals now, so I know with a friend of mine what she practices in her business, this is when now she's laying the skeletal work now. So this is when she's working on like the behind the scenes of her business, right? So this is time your hibernation. This is not time now to go and action, right? Unless you are in the northern hemisphere. But as here in the southern hemisphere, we're working on behind the scenes. We're working within, So this is the theme that we've been carrying from the Heru season. I've been saying that no, we're now slowly entering a period where we're gonna need to be working on the spiritual stuff, right? I'm trying to talk less with my hands. But in preparation of the season, this is an intro lesson. We're gonna expand more Ga Auset, right? Where now the confinement of the body, as in relation to Asawa Rona, is a renewal of the soul, because as much as we're going into a dark period, but it is helping us to renew the soul. So as usual, 8 countdown of things. So the period Enaya Auset, or this energy house, it starts by the 23rd of March up until the 23rd of April. And then the color the season is a maroon, hence I'm wearing this by. And I think one of my first Auset seasons, I remember wearing these and was probably like the last time I transed in a nasty way. But it's maroon. If you can't find maroon, if you're expressing the color in terms of candles, please yeah, look for a dark red if you can't find maroon. But if you want a plug, I have a plug. Also, it is a gentleman who's doing quite well. He does courier though all over the country. It's the light candles, and Soweto Pimville. I will share their details in the comments, in the description box, sorry. And then if you're in the Fourways area, I will share Gogo's details as well. I forgot to check also what her brand is called, but she has great quality candles as well, and she also has these candles, but this is only for people who circulate the rand and still believe in hashtags circulate the rand, hashtag support black first, you know. But yeah, if not, you can go koboma Barakembo Westpac or yeah, other candle makers. But like we're saying, we want to get to a point where we are feeding ourselves, clothing ourselves. So yeah, anyway, so that is the color, the maroon color. And then the stone, yeah, the season is a carnelian stone. So there's a gogo go TikTok, but she also appears a lot. So Kikoko Tulisi, but on TikTok, she goes by Life. Let me check quickly. She covered this season so well, actually. I'll tell you now. It's Life Tools Intuitive Guidance. So just search for that. You'll see she does the tarot reading. She does the energy reading. She does the... she's a chakra hand. But this is now like from her lineage. It's insane. Like her grandmothers and her great-grandmothers have been chakra hands. They just didn't have the term for it then. But yeah, so she covers the stones quite well. So it is a carnelian stone. And with the carnelian stone, usually I would use the orange, right? The orange color. But for the season, I want us to use the red carnelian, if you can find the red carnelian. And it's going to link nicely as more, the more we expand on the season ya Auset, right? So red carnelian, what do I want to say? The rooting is, the rooting. So there's a color, yeah, the root chakra. So remember, we're coming from a period where it was calling upon us to be balanced and grounded and all that. So yeah, Auset is bringing all these together. There's a comment actually, we'll cover it when we expand more the season of Auset. But the carnelian stone also, it assists with the self-esteem. It assists with whenever you are putting these negative talks on yourselves, you know, doubting yourself, having that feeling of inadequacy, and then also helps with creativity as well. And then also for people who have been in the spheres of personal development, you know, the dread color, the dread color, yeah, you know, the leadership, but I want to link this again to the yellow chakra, right? The solar plexus. But we're gonna expand more on that because this is another ceremony where Auset, the purification of the plexus, and in brackets solar plexus. Anyway, and then also assists with courage. So that is the stone, the carnelian. Get the red carnelian because I use the orange one usually for like my sacral chakra cleanses, and yeah, such works. But if you find the orange, that is totally okay too. And then the animals that are associated with the season in the dove, the swallow, as well as the female falcon. So I'm just going to touch on the two. So the dove, we know whenever we're thinking dove, we're always thinking peace in our land, especially trial generation, rainbow trial generation. We had these keepers of peace in our land. And yeah, so whenever you're thinking dove, you're thinking peace, you're thinking, but also it also symbolizes transformation and renewal as well, which is what the principle Auset is all about. Is all about. Remember, this is the person who breathes life back into Uasa. Anyway, so that is the animals. And then the metal thing is an Electrum metal. It is an alloy. It's an alloy of silver, gold, and other minor metals, copper, platinum. So yeah, I don't own one. I don't own an Electrum. But we'll expand more on it and its spiritual benefits then. And then what else did I forget? I forgot to expand on the falcon, right? The female falcon. But that'll be another lesson, right? But yeah, we'll go into the female falcon when we unpacking more of a set. And then we have the Jasmine as the incense, also quite easily findable. And then we have rose as the scent. So in this season more now, because when I think Auset, I always think of the moon, right? And we'll explain more in our Tuesday sessions that we're going to be having. So I always think of the moon, and now my rose, how I'm going to activate my rose, I'm going to have a lot of moon baths, right? And so I get the moon baths, I always incorporate like the roses, especially around the full moon, right? But specifically got this Auset season. So this is a very important month to be working at the energy of the moon, right? Because Nomkhubulwane too, she's the goddess that governs the moon. And then what else did I forget? We covered the tree. The tree, yeah, the season is a cedar tree. So we discovered this the COVID season, lockdown, yeah, up 2020, right? Or actually it's got so many uses, besides disinfecting the air like we would kampepo. It helps also chest things, clearing mucus as well. With the stubborn people where we're like, we're not caving to the system. So we'd use cedar tree in our humidifiers, or how goma, or more futa, or how futa, how aramela. Yeah, I think I've covered the languages that I speak. But the cedar tree, it's got multiple uses. But Leona, we're gonna expand more maybe when we'll have a separate lessons of the things that align us with the season. Yeah, just to expand more on that. So those are the things that you're gonna be creating now. Those are the things that you're gonna be adorning. But in this season as well, I was having a very intense conversation Tuli in the rising of today. Yes, the chief chakra hand Gogo Tulisi. So Ori, and so she alerted me to a lot of to this fact, yeah, a lot of blood baths would be happening at the season as well, come shuffle day. Thank you so much for tuning onto the shuffle day, reading the stories. Yeah, the actual shuffle day situation. But yeah, we have footage, even though it was in the dark because of the setting of the event. But I'm going to share a couple of clips from that as well. But I hope you managed to read the stories, the horrific stories. The Shuffle Massacre, what we are now being disconnected from. Maybe it's a Human Rights Day, right? Insane. But anyway, what was I saying? Yes, Boma Shuffle Massacre, there's a gentleman, okay, this is too sensitive to mention right now, but this gentleman was also hacked the season. So it's not gonna necessarily be a very friendly season. Maybe what I'll say to they'll experience a very friendly season, but for some of us, because it is this hibernation, and it is, wait, there's a point I was making with the blackbirds. What was the point I was making? I forgot. Yeah, but Guyana 1960 AO. So around that period, the moon ena that was prevalent then was called the blood moon, as Kulu Menti Masego was saying, go the events that we had, go Sharpeville, right? And there's a point, I'll remember the point. Protection, yes. So she's also a protector, who also as much as is a healer. And you take it now from the story. Remember, na birthed the child, also protected the child, trained the child to go into battle, into restoring the throne, into restoring the defeating the uncle, taking vengeance for his father's unaliving. So so the point I was making is that also spiritually and physically protect yourself, So even if you wear, we have angst on our bodies permanently, so, but maybe like wear your ankh, wear your eye of Heru or eye of Ra right now. Then there's another amulet, it's called the Knot of Isis. I just don't have it. I don't own one, but it's also quite a protective amulet. So it's also almost shaped like an ankh, but I'll try to find pictures when I'm doing the edits here, just for people to, maybe some people, sometimes you bump into things you don't even know, but then the dots will connect backwards for you. But before going into too much, because I don't want us touching onto the principle, the function, Auset, but again, a divine mother, again, responsible for birthing. That is her function. For birthing, she's also principle fruition, the things that making things come into realization, basically. But I think that is all I have for today, because this is our intro episode. We'll expand more on our Tuesday sessions when we're doing our spirituality. Anken Ma'at, and happy today, happy season. Ndlovukazi, Nomkhubulwane, Ngwedi, Mudimume, Tlhatlhamacholo. Tobela, have a great today. Happy today, Afrikan.